I call the member for Holt.
Yeah, thank you, Speaker. Speaker, tonight I rise to talk about a very important community living in my federal electorate of Holt, a community which adds immense richness and vibrancy to my electorate. One of the privileges of being a member of federal parliament is the ability to attend citizenship ceremonies, particularly the citizenship ceremonies conducted by the City of Casey. It's wonderful to be present at a ceremony where people from all corners of the globe and all walks of life take that final step to truly become Australian. To see the faces of these new citizens full of hope and optimism about the future of the country that they call home. I've noticed particularly new citizens that come from India, in many cases young families, who now call Australia home. Their stories from all parts of India, wherever they come from, are now our stories that become part of the Australian fabric, part of the Australian story. And one of my favourite stories just from the last citizenship ceremony was a young woman that came from Tamil Nadu who was studying, I think it was engineering, civil engineering and science at Monash University. And I asked her what she wanted to do, and she wanted to work for a particular mining company. I said, what would happen if the mining boom finished off? And she said, quick as a flash, she'd work for Boeing. I like the vitality and the spirit of young people, and particularly that young woman who came from India. In Australia, there is a rapidly growing Indian community. According to the 2011 census, approximately 295,000 people living in Australia who were born in India, and over 390,000 people of Indian ancestry. In 2011-12, those migrating from India were the largest source of permanent migration to Australia, forming 15.7% of the total migration program in 2011-12. Whilst according to the 2011 census, there are 11,116 people of Indian ancestry residing in my federal electorate of Holt. Since the 1800s, Indian migrants have made a profound contribution to Australia through many ways. Through their culture, they've enriched Australia. Through their festivals, through their temples, and particularly through their achievements in the fields of science, medicine, law, even fashion design. They're making their mark on this country in a very, very big way. As I've said now, their stories are our stories, and I'm going to run out of time talking about some of these stories. Stories are innumerable about people from India who have come to make this country their home, enriching our local community, opening up small businesses, establishing local community heritage centres, or establishing sporting groups. The list is endless. For example, on the 15th of June 2013, I had the pleasure of joining Luke Dinellan, Victorian State Member for Narre-Warren North, and Mr Lee Talamas, or the Honourable Lee Talamas, the Victorian State Member for the South Eastern Metropolitan Province, to attend the official opening of Joshan Motors in Hallam. It is run by Mr Harjip Singh. Mr Singh is a local resident who has opened a small business of motor repairing, and it's a small business which has all the modern machinery. He's done this, he's taken the leap of faith, establishing, after working for many years for another company, a small business in the suburb of Hallam. It's not easy to establish your own small business, but Mr Singh's initiative is to be commended, particularly now as he's one of 18,900 small business proprietors in the city of Casey, which is vital to our local economy. There are other notable small businesses run by members of the Indian community, such as Rox Industries in Dandenong, run by Mr Prince Mushley. Since 1994, Rox Industries has been manufacturing high-quality mechanical components. There is a very, as I said, vibrant Indian community making its mark in manufacturing in the southeast. There's also, when I met at this particular function, a Mr Kamran Khan, who represents the Landmark Zenith Group, who is working for a company that's planning to establish 20 restaurants all over Australia in the next 5 years, including 5 restaurants in Melbourne. This is a significant investment. I also wanted to quickly mention Niraj Nanda, who runs the local Southeast Asia Times, and Ravi Rugapathi, who runs Movie Book, an online magazine about cinema, for their work in promoting and publishing local Indian news and Indian film throughout the local media. I could just keep on going on and on and on, Speaker. I will. But I'd like to say these stories are success stories. These are stories of a community that's come from a long way to make this country their home. You see the establishment in the community of the magnificent Sri Shiva Vishnu Temple. I don't know if those opposite have seen it, but it's a landmark temple, Hindu temple in the southeastern Melbourne. This is a wonderful community, a vibrant, rich community. I'm glad they've made Australia their home. They've made our country stronger and richer as a consequence of it.
The question is, the House can now adjourn.